Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. It's a little early in the morning. The sun's kind of low, but it gets up to about 105 to 110 uh, here in Arizona where I live. And so I have to start early in the morning. And it's still warm, but it's not that hot. Anyway, so I have been telling the story of my life in these e-bike rides. And if you want to get caught up, which I don't know if you do or not, but at the end of this video, there will be a link that says Life Story. You click on that, and it'll take you to page 1. All right, so in the last video I had the most exciting airplane ride I have ever had. I'll just have to put it that way. My life was on the line every minute. Flying a flybaby from Bonners Ferry, Idaho, down to Pasco, Washington. Pasco is part of the Tri-Cities, Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland, all around the Columbia River right there. And so I managed to get it home. The pastor of the church where I worked, I worked at a Christian radio station. I was the chief engineer, and he bought that after seeing me having so much fun with my tail dragger, my Cessna 170, which I had just gotten. So that's where we are, and of course it was a popular item with all the pilots. See, there was quite a few people that had pilot license and airplanes from after taking a class that was sponsored by the church. So there was quite a few people. Well, so the flybaby was looked like a cute little plane to fly, and so I guess it's a Saturday, a bunch of the people all got together. It was kind of an organized thing at the Richland Airport where the flybaby was being kept after I brought it home from Bonners Ferry. And so we all showed up there. I flew over in my plane. Good friend of mine named Ed, he flew over, and he's the one that went to Moose Creek, that showed me Moose Creek, where I almost killed me and my son. Anyway, he was there. The pastor was there. By the way, the church secretary was a widow, but she was involved in a lot of things, and she bought herself a plane like my brother did, a Piper Cherokee 140, and so she had that plane, and so we all got together one Saturday for everybody to take turns flying the flybaby. Well, for one thing, that the church secretary had never flown a tail dragger until she wanted to learn how to fly a tail dragger. Actually, it's how to land a tail dragger, because like I've said before, if you take a grocery cart at Walmart, turn it around, push it backwards, it'll immediately let go of it. It'll immediately want to spin around and go frontwards, and that's the way with the tail dragger. The swivel wheel is in the back, and as soon as you land, it wants to get up to the front. So you get what's called a ground loop. So anyway, before that, the church secretary asked me if I would teach her how to land my tail dragger, give her some lessons. And so we did. We went out and to the airport a couple of times, and I sat in the right seat. I was getting comfortable at sitting in the right seat by now and letting somebody else fly. As a matter of fact, a few years later, I had a $700 dentist bill, and the dentist said, if you will teach me how to fly a tail dragger, then I'll forget the bill. And so I taught him how to fly a tail dragger. So people, it's not how to fly, it's how to land, I guess you'd say. So So I taught the church secretary, and then I did it just like an instructor. After I was sure she could land, I got out, and she did 3 touch and goes with my airplane, but she did fine. So she knew how to land a tail dragger. So that Saturday, I'll put a map up of the Richland Airport, and I can't remember which runway it is, but I'll point it out with an arrow. Um, Everybody kind of gathered down at that end of the runway, and then they would take turns. The plan was for everybody to be able to take turns flying the Flybaby. So I'm sorry, excuse me. So and I don't remember. I was kind of going back and forth and everything, and so the church secretary, she was first, and so she took it up, and then I remember I was flying my plane, and somebody had what was a video camera. Back in those days, it was anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I'll put it up on the screen because my brain goes blank sometimes. I don't know why. Anyway, so somebody got up in my plane, sitting in the right seat, and we flew along next to her and got a video of her flying the Flybaby. And of course, the Flybaby, when you're sitting in it, you're kind of down in a hole, but you can see over the front if you nose it down a little bit, unless you're a big, tall guy or something. And so I was landing my plane and parking it when she came in for a landing, so I didn't get to see what happened, but she almost killed herself. Now, with that open cockpit airplane, if you nose it over and the tail comes over and it flips, your head is the first thing to hit the ground. And so as they explained it to me, because I wasn't able to watch it, I was parking my airplane. She just almost crashed. Okay, so the thing is I'll make a little picture here. Put a little picture of the way the guy wires on a Flybaby are connected. There's a set of guy wires that hold the wing up when it's on the ground, and then the lower guy wires hold the wing from folding up when it's flying. And the guy wires on that plane that we were flying were slack. They weren't really tight. The guy didn't really. It wasn't really that great of a job of building a plane, so they were slack. So as long as you were flying, the wings had a little dihedral, and basically, let me stop and show you what that is. Dihedral is when the wings are straight out, and then some planes have them go like this, because that way, if the plane starts to go this way, this wing gets more lift, and that keeps it level. So the dihedral in an airplane is kind of handy because it helps keep the plane level. So as the Flybaby came in, remember now there's more lift when there's no dihedral, okay? As the Flybaby came in to land and started slowing down, then the bottom wires would begin to just start to release, and so both wings would drop down just maybe an inch or so, and that would give the plane more lift. So you came down close to the ground, and then when you got close to the ground, then all of a sudden those 2 wings came down. That gave it more lift, so it went like that. And when it went like that, well, then naturally the pilot tries to correct for that, which I did my very first time landing. It was like I was bouncing down the runway. Anyway, we won't go there. Anyway, so that was the problem of trying to land that. So when she came in to land, she ran into that, and I don't know if she overcorrected or what, but she made the plane go way up. And then, of course, it didn't have enough speed because she pulled back on the stick to make it, to get it straightened out. And she over corrected, and it went way up. And then it was going too slow to fly, so it came down hard on the wheels. There was no suspension. Those wheels were just on the end of a steel rod. I get a picture of it there too. But anyway, when it came back down, then I think it was the left wheel. It must have come down at an angle. The left wheel, instead of being straight now, was bent up. And so now nobody wanted to fly the Flybaby that Saturday. But guess what? We had to get it home to work on it, get it back to the Pasco airport. And so I can't remember who flew my plane, but somebody flew my plane and followed me with a camera, just in case. They followed me with a camera as I was coming in to land at the Pasco airport, because nobody knew what was going to happen with that crooked wheel. Well, as it turned out, it was no big problem. It landed okay, but now it had to be repaired. So we had an excellent A&P mechanic who was located at the Hermiston Airport, which was maybe 100 miles south of Pasco, not even that far. And he was a super nice guy. And so we had our planes annualed there. In fact, the first time I had my Cessna 150 annualed, the Pasco Airport FBO office, they charged me $700. The next time I had it annualed, or maybe it was the next plane, he only charged, his name was Dick, by the way. He's gone now because he was a lot older than me. But anyway, he only charged $150 to annual an airplane. I don't know how he made a living. Well, I know he was doing the crop dusters, and I know he charged them more. But just local folks with planes, he tried to make it easy. So the plane had to be flown down to Hermiston, Oregon to get it repaired. And guess who was given the opportunity to do that? And so I flew the Flybaby down to Hermiston. I can't remember how it went. I think I had to wait till somebody came and got me. But then the A&P mechanic, he repaired it, got it all fixed up, so then it was ready to fly again. And and then that wasn't the only time I ever flew a damaged airplane for the pastor, because that was his plane. And so I can't remember if he ever flew it, or I don't remember ever seeing him fly it, because he was big and heavy. But I know he did, because he said he didn't have to trim it like I had. There's no trim control on it, and so I couldn't let go of the stick, or it would want to go up. And so he didn't have that problem. So I know he flew it. So anyway, flew it down there. It got repaired, and now then everybody, including me, could go for a ride in the Flybaby. I don't think that the church secretary ever flew it again, though. Be honest with you, I think that was the last time she ever flew it, because it was pretty scary for her. And if that would have gone over, she would have probably ended up with either severe brain damage or dead. So I don't think she ever wanted to fly it again. But in another story coming up, she did buy a tail dragger, so we'll get to that. All right. So anyway, that's today's story. I'm running out of time. I don't like to make my videos as long as that last one, which was 20 minutes. And so I try to keep it between closer to 15 minutes. So anyway, so that's enough of a story for now. The Flybaby got broken and got fixed, and then people could fly it. And so even my friend Ed, who took me to Moose Creek, he got to fly it finally. So But he wore a crash helmet. The rest of us just we just put our life on the line. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.